In this James the Bike Guy video, we're checking out an entry-level endurance road bike that has the capability of doing light gravel and light bike packing as well. That's right, we're checking out the 2022 Trek Domane AL2. And this AL2 is the disc brake version because they also make a rim brake as well that's quite a bit different, but I'll have a review for that linked down in the description below. But in this video, we're gonna go into the 2022 disc brake version of the Domane AL2, talk about what the bike is and who it's for, and then go over all the features and designs. So if this kind of thing is interesting to you, be sure to stick around and let's check out this bike together. Beginning the discussion about the Trek Domane, we should talk a bit about what this bike is all about. So the Trek Domane slots into Trek's lineup as their endurance road bike. And by endurance road bike, what that essentially means is when you look at the geometry of the bike, the front end of it is going to be a bit more upright. You can see it's almost in line with the saddle, which what that does is that allows this bike to fit very comfortably and be a comfortable ride for long distances. And because of that, this kind of geometry is a great place to start, especially if you're getting a first road bike, because instead of being in a hunched over position that really requires a huge amount of flexibility and maybe some suffering in long distances, this is going to help keep you in a position so that you're comfortable. And the Trek Domane series comes in several levels, from a very beginner Domane AL2 rim brake bike, which is their least expensive road bike in Trek's lineup, all the way up to a full-on carbon fiber version, either in the SL or the SLR top-end performance build. And this bike being the Trek Domane AL2, basically that means the Domane AL2 is coming with an aluminum 100 series alpha aluminum. And these Treks, the number that's indicated with the bike is the part spec. So 2 is the beginning level on the AL versions, meaning that this is the least expensive variant to get disc brakes and the AL frame. Diving into the Trek Domane AL frame, this is that 100 series alpha aluminum that we talked about before, and it's going to be mated up with a carbon fiber fork. So the fork that's on the front end is the Domane AL carbon fork, and this is going to be made out of OCLV carbon fiber. It runs a through axle, 12 by 100 millimeter in length. And what's really neat about it is it does have a mount for fenders to be able to be attached if that's the kind of thing that you want. And now this frame is pretty feature filled for an entry-level bike. It's going to get things like internal cable routing to keep the look nice and sleek. And then you're going to have a whole bunch of mounting options with this top tube mount. You've got a down tube and a seat tube mount for water bottles. And down underneath, right behind the bottom bracket, you can see there's 2 more mounts. And basically that means you can attach a bento box up top, lots of water bottles, or some frame storage onto it. And then to the back of the bike, it's a through axle 12 by 142 out back with fender mounts and rack mounts as well. So you can rock some racks on here, fenders, a whole bunch of gear and bike packing stuff if you wanted to take this on a light adventure touring. And the other thing that's pretty neat, making it adventure ready, is going to be the tire clearance. So factory, the bike's going to be coming with some 32 millimeter tires, but you can see it's got plenty of room to go up to stated 35 millimeter, or even just a touch wider if you're willing to risk some frame clearance. Other things to mention here is it does run a traditional 27.2 seat post, so you can put whatever seat post you want on. We've got really neat features like a spot for a duo trap. Essentially what we have right here is a spot where you can add a sensor to pick up wheel speed as well as cadence speed. And then of course flat mount disc brakes, both on the front and the rear, along with a threaded bottom bracket for a low maintenance crank interface. Moving into the parts and brakes of this bike, being the 2 level, this is going to be entry level parts. However, they're all name brand and plenty high quality. Essentially what we're rocking is a 8-speed out back and 2 up front. And what that means is you've got a high and a low position, so a climbing gear as well as a descending gear up front. And then in back, operated by the Shimano Claris rear derailleur, you're going to have a wide range rear cassette. And the cassette that's on this bike is an 11 to 32, meaning 11 tooth there to 32 up top, which drives forward to a 50-34 chainring combination, which is considered a compact chainring. So this will give a pretty wide range of gearing. and the front end is going to be shifted via this Claris front derailleur with a Shimano crankset. And controlling those derailleurs are these Shimano Claris shifters. So on a bike like this, the shift and brake levers are combined. So this is going to brake. Essentially, you grab that way and it'll brake. And then the inside button is going to bring you to harder gear. Whole lever over brings you to an easier gear. And this style of position, or shifter I should say, allows you to have your hand on the hood just like this riding down the road, or be able to go into the drops for a more aggressive position. And in both positions you have full controls over the shift and brake lever. And those are going to be braking via some Tektro 2-piston mechanical disc brakes. These are flat mount, operating on 160 millimeter rotors. Keeping you positioned on the bike is going to be a Bontrager alloy cockpit. So we'll start off by checking out this alloy handlebar. This handlebar is a drop bar. That's the Bontrager Comp VRS handlebar. What the VRS is it's a short and shallow reach bar. It's got an 81 millimeter reach and 118 millimeter drop, which means that it should put you in a nice comfortable position up top without having to reach too far out. And then the position from the top of the bar down to the drops is not so far to totally disrupt your comfortable fit. And then you've got an aluminum blender stem. So this particular stem is going to be the Bontrager Elite. It's got a spot for you to be able to add a mount for your Garmin, your bike computer, a front light, or even your cell phone. And then you're going to be perched atop this Bontrager P3 Verse saddle. The P3 Verse is their latest road saddle. You can see it's got a cutout through the center to help with blood flow, and then it's mounted up on a 27.2 millimeter diameter 2-bolt adjustable seat post. This is an alloy seat post that allows some adjustment as far as angle, and this would be the first place for an upgrade, in my opinion, where you might swap that out for carbon for just a little more comfort, because a carbon post will have a little give while you're riding. Now, getting the bike to the ground is done via some 700C wheels. 700C is the traditional diameter for a road bike wheel, and these are some Bontrager Paradigm rims. It's a tubeless ready compatible rim. Stock, it's going to come with some tubes inside of it. However, with strips and some valves, you can swap it to tubeless, and the swap would also require replacement tires, because what comes on here is the Bontrager R1 700 by 32 millimeter tire. This is tubed only, but like I said, a quick swap and you can get this tubeless for a little more flat resistance as well. The actual weight for the Trek Domane AL2 disc is going to come in and weigh 23.58 pounds. Thanks for watching this video on the 2022 Trek Domane AL2 disc. Go ahead and let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. While you're at it, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It lets me know you enjoyed the video, and definitely browse the channel for other videos like this to check out as well.